You're bullish. We know it. The viewers and listeners know it too. The question becomes, after a run like we've seen since the Liberation Day lows, what can we expect from technology? Has it already been drawn forward?
I don't think so. I mean, I think we're just beginning this golden age for tech. And the reason I think tech stocks are up 10 to 15% in the second half of the year, because the second, third, fourth derivatives of AI, they're just starting to play out. I mean, when you look across software, you look across semis, you look across the consumer report, and to me, that's really the focus here, is that as the AI revolution plays out, that's how I think you get to NASDAQ 22K, 23K.
If it's that way, we know through history it's not always a straight line, and even hasn't been since the recoveries of the great financial crisis back in 08 and 09. What kind of risk downside can investors expect, even if the medium to longer term march is from the lower left to the upper right?
Yeah, me and you've talked about this before for a long time. It's like, look, those are the opportunities. Like, you go back to, let's say, next week, July 9th, what happens with some of the trade deals? You look at Fed, you look at geopolitical, but I view those as the opportunities. I mean, my whole career, those are the opportunities if you think the fundamental stories are playing out. And I think when it comes to tech, this is just starting. I think it's a 3-year tech bull market still ahead of us, as all what I view as AI, $2 trillion of spend in the next 3 years.
What about valuations? You can't argue with the fact that there are certain places in the market right now, especially in technology, that have elevated valuations, enough so where people are drawing certain comparisons to other frothy times in recent market history, just in the last couple of decades. How do you respond to that?
Look, in some of the covered tech stocks in late 90s to today, I mean, I view it as apples to oranges, because this is the biggest tech trend we've seen in the last 40, 50 years. And I always focus, if you just focus on valuations, you missed every transformational tech stock the last 20 years. I think you have to look at the next 3, 5 years what growth looks like. And I think, to me, tech is actually undervalued relative to where I see this. And that's why I think a lot of the bears, when they're in hibernation in those caves, they can't see AI in the spreadsheets. And I think that's why we're so bullish, especially across not just software, cybersecurity, and across the rest of the.
As the chip king driving the generative AI explosion, Nvidia is hailed as the poster child of Wall Street's artificial intelligence, AI, frenzy, and its position has grown significantly. Everyone was reminded of this last week by Nvidia's stock. Nvidia surged over 10% and set new all-time highs as it raced through a scorching 6-day winning streak. It edged past Microsoft to regain its position as the most valuable firm in the world. At the annual shareholder meeting, CEO Jensen Huang's confidence and ambition for AI and robots helped investors shake off China concerns. By raising the price target to a street-high $250 and praising Nvidia as the focal point of a surge in AI spending, Loop Capital analyst Ananda Barua contributed to rekindling the rally. Meanwhile, a bold route to a $6 trillion valuation is outlined by Nvidia's upcoming Blackwell chips and demand driven by AI. Even though insiders have sold off over $1 billion worth of stock in the last year, investor confidence hasn't wavered. So, is it still worthwhile to purchase Nvidia stock following a ferocious 6-day run and optimistic upgrades? It is rarely necessary to introduce Nvidia. It is without a doubt the driving force behind the revolution in AI chips. It gained its prominence by creating graphics processing units, GPUs, the brains of contemporary artificial intelligence, and now has a $3.7 trillion market valuation. Originally known for enabling gaming and graphics, Nvidia gained international recognition by making an early shift into artificial intelligence and becoming as the preferred provider for big tech's data center aspirations. Jensen Huang, the CEO, is now aiming for a new power play, sovereign AI. Nvidia is providing nations with the means to create AI ecosystems free from Silicon Valley's influence, including AI factories and Blackwell GPUs. Billion-dollar deals are piling up from the Middle East to Europe. 2025 began for Nvidia with storm clouds in the sky. Investor mood was significantly impacted by China export restrictions, increased tariffs, and geopolitical tensions. After CEO Jensen Huang issued a warning about the possible consequences of losing access to a $50 billion market, Nvidia's stock briefly fell. However, momentum quickly changed. The AI chip king stormed back, rising 14% in the last month and more than 40% in the last 3 months. Indeed, on June 27th, Nvidia's shares hit a new high of 158.70 yuan. Loop Capital's street-high price target set the fire, but the bulls are still going strong because of Huang's discussion about multi-trillion-dollar AI frontiers. Furthermore, as the need for computing power continues to rise globally, there is growing optimism that China's export restrictions won't overthrow Nvidia's leadership in AI. Now that it is above 76, the Relative Strength Index, RSI, is clearly in overbought territory. That flashes a red flag that a breather might be approaching while also indicating red-hot momentum. At 39 times projected profits and 29 times forward sales, Nvidia's stock is currently trading above the sector median and appears to be expensive. However, relative to its historical average, it is a discount. Looking more closely, Nvidia's stock value appears more balanced than inflated, with earnings expected to climb by double digits this year and next, and margins remaining high. At 1.4 times, its PEG ratio is much more appealing. Management is making use of free cash flow, FCF, which increased by 75% yearly. In Q1 alone, they spent nearly $14 billion on buybacks. With a yield of 0.03%, the dividend is still quite little, but capital returns are obviously increasing. The premium becomes less speculative and more like a well-considered wager on long-term dominance when you mix a runway for development, careful capital allocation, and exponential AI demand. Nvidia's first quarter fiscal 2026 earnings were released on May 28th and were extremely remarkable. So, what implications does this have for Nvidia's stock? Let's explore that. But first, a big thank you to those of you who've stuck with us this far. Creating these videos takes significant effort and dedication, so if you're enjoying the content, please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and share your thoughts on Nvidia stock in the comments. Your support truly helps us grow. Now, let's get back to the video. Even the most optimistic street projections were surpassed as revenue jumped to $44.1 billion, up 69% year-over-year, YOY, and 12% sequentially. Nvidia's data center division provided the firepower, bringing in $39.1 billion, a scorching 73% year-over-year increase. 88% of overall revenue came from data centers. With a record $3.8 billion, up 48% sequentially and 42% year-over-year, gaming wasn't sleeping either. However, it wasn't all green candles and crisp lines. A $4.5 billion hit was dealt by the United States export ban on H20 AI processors to China, which was linked to excess inventory and purchase agreements. The GAAP gross margin dropped to 60.5% as a result of the penalty, while the non-GAAP gross margin settled at 61%. Nvidia's non-GAAP gross margin reached a much healthier 71.3% after deducting the charge. Non-GAAP EPS increased 33% yearly to $0.81. Without the China impact, that number would have skyrocketed to $0.96. Nevertheless, despite the challenges, the market granted its approval, and on May 29th, Nvidia's stock increased 3.3%, indicating investor confidence. In the future, management anticipates Q2 sales of about $45 billion. That's before accounting for the possible $8 billion hit from H20 export restrictions. Even if the road today involves navigating geopolitical turmoil amid record-breaking growth, Nvidia's ambition remains firmly focused as the demand for AI soars globally. Nvidia analysts continue to be optimistic about the company's expansion. They anticipate that Q2 profits would increase 43% year-over-year to $0.93 per share. In the future, EPS is expected to increase by 36% yearly to $4 in fiscal 2026, and then by another 32% to $5.29 in fiscal 2027. Loop Capital is placing a large wager on Nvidia's prospects. Analyst Ananda Barua recently reiterated his buy recommendation for Nvidia, raising his price objective from $175 to $250. Nvidia is solidly positioned at the center of what the analyst refers to as a golden wave of generative AI, which is the basis for his optimistic outlook. According to Loop, hyperscalers, sovereign AI projects, and the growing number of AI manufacturers might cause AI compute consumption to soar to $2 trillion by 2028. Another major driver is the anticipated full manufacturing of Nvidia's forthcoming Blackwell chips, which are intended for high-intensity reasoning models by the October quarter. Even with Nvidia's huge surge, the analyst believes there is still more room for growth. He believes that Nvidia is simply warming up and not peaking. Dan Ives, a Wedbush analyst, is likewise optimistic and refers to Nvidia as the foundation of the AI revolution. Ives predicts that Nvidia will become the first $4 trillion firm in history this year due to the surge in sovereign AI spending and the escape velocity of chip demand. Ives reiterated his $175 price objective and outperform rating for the AI chip stock. The consensus rating for Nvidia's stock is strong buy, reflecting analysts' general optimism about the company. Of the 44 analysts who follow the stock, 37 recommend a strong buy, 3 recommend a moderate buy, 3 recommend a hold, and 1 recommends a strong sell. Nvidia's stock has an average analyst price target of $176.62, suggesting a potential gain of almost 12%. The street-high target price of $250 set by Loop Capital indicates that shares may rise by up to 59% from this point. Despite appearing to be a victory lap, Nvidia's 6-day rise and skyrocketing price are not without warning indicators. As price targets increase and bulls see sovereign AI as the next trillion-dollar bonanza, Wall Street is still enthralled. However, competitors are changing the rules and insiders are discreetly profiting, moving AI away from brute force GPU scaling and toward leaner, more intelligent designs. In the meantime, the US industry is essentially shut out of the Chinese market. According to hedge funds, Nvidia is one of the top FANG stocks to purchase. The logic claims that on June 27th, Nvidia Corporation acquired the Canadian AI company CentML, combining its staff and management. CentML is a machine learning startup that was founded in 2022 and provides an optimization platform to raise the effectiveness and affordability of training and deploying AI models. Due to its investment in CentML's $27 million seed fundraising round in October 2023, Nvidia already had a connection to the company. Additionally, CentML joined Nvidia's accelerator program in November 2024, giving the company access to hardware discounts and technical expertise. According to their LinkedIn accounts, the logic also claims that Nvidia hired at least 15 engineers and 2 interns from CentML this month. A global pioneer in networking and graphics processing, Nvidia offers GPUs for use in AI, gaming, high-performance computing, and other fields. The company's products are used in professional visualization, gaming, data centers, and the automotive industry. Even while we recognize Nvidia's promise as an investment, we think several AI stocks have more upside potential and less negative risk. See our free research on the finest short-term AI stock if you're searching for a very cheap AI stock that will also profit greatly from Trump's tariffs and the onshoring trend. Don't forget to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your input helps create a more knowledgeable community where we can all learn and grow together in the world of investing. Stay up to date with the latest market trends, insights, and key updates by subscribing to Investing Tutorial. We're here to help you make smarter investment decisions and stay ahead of the curve.
Talking one of your favorite subjects here, semiconductor chips. Is that something you thought you'd be saying when you were like 16, 17 years old?
I mean, I probably didn't think I'd be saying it when I was like 23 years old. So I think here we are. I mean, you got to rise to the occasion because it's all frankly we talk about. But at least with some positive developments, because I have to say this was a space that saw the unraveling with the overall market, which sure, yes. I mean, a lot of these names do trade with high correlation to the overall market and they're massive. So I can understand that justification. But also on the fact that we were so concerned about like what the export controls looked like to China, what looming competition looked like overseas. I feel like a lot of this was perhaps a bit overdone. So at least encouraging headlines that support the narrative that perhaps it wasn't a necessarily doom and gloom event that we saw in the spring. The latest version, though, of the beautiful beautiful bill, could make it
13B.
I've said it so many times this week, it's just blending into like one B word, but it could make it cheaper for semiconductor manufacturers at least to build plants in the U.S. per some reports we got. But under the bill, tax credits for semiconductor firms would rise to around 35% from 25%, which is more than the 30% increase in the draft version of the bill. Companies eligible for the credits do include Intel, thank goodness, Taiwan Semiconductor, Micron, as well as these companies do continue to expand their manufacturing in the U.S. before now this looming deadline. So I do think that this bill, while widely scrutinized, I mean, bipartisan right now, it seems like sort of angst regarding some of the massive increase in expected spending. But all of this was expected. I mean, this is exactly what we saw the Trump administration run their campaign on. We also do know that following a period of more government and really alternative energy spending friendly that we saw under Biden, we're going to see a shift in that. And that's, I think, what right now is being digested by markets. But I mean, this is encouraging and also signaling that, yes, we are going to see certain companies hit by these trade controls, but it's not going to affect them all evenly.